Welcome in, everybody. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, I would highly appreciate if you could hit the thumbs up button for some engagement to help spread the content throughout the community. Drop me a comment. Click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. What's up, YC? And make sure you're
Welcome in,
subscribed.
everybody.
I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts.
Subscribe to the channel.
If you appreciate the content, I would highly... My settings. All right. This was a little bit of a... All right, here we go. This was a little bit of a rush job to get this live stream going because a little busy at work. Lots going on today. Lots going on. Let's get into YouTube first. So I reached out to YouTube. I noticed something funky yesterday. So when I was done live streaming the channel, I noticed that... hopefully the chop is done and everything is good to go. So let me know if everything is good on your end, YC. I think I corrected for the issue. There's a delay in the comments. But what I noticed was when I had ended the live stream, I had received 11 thumbs up buttons. 11 likes. All right, 11 likes. And when I had checked the video later in the evening before I had gone to bed, Rashid, what's up, brother? I saw one thumbs up, and I was like, that's odd. And then I checked this morning, and there were only 6. So I reached out to YouTube. I don't know what's going on there. I want to make sure they're properly capturing the analytics behind the videos. If everyone's engaging and they're hitting the thumbs up and they're, I do have that level of engagement. I want to make sure that YouTube's capturing that properly. I don't know what's going on there. A lot going on today. Just busy at work, a lot going on. But also wanted to give you a heads up. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I might get a phone call during the live stream that I need to take. Unfortunately, my mom was taken into the hospital last night. And one of the things, she's doing well. She's doing, I spoke to her on the phone earlier. She's doing well. Obviously, you never like to hear about a family member, especially your parents, something's going on. Especially like I live far away, so it's very difficult. But one of the things that you quickly learn is that in the healthcare system, you have to be an active member. You have to take control of the situation in some senses. You have to be active. You have to ask questions. And so I made it a point to my mom to reiterate several times on the phone that when the doctor did come in to reevaluate her, the specialist that she's seeing, I do have some questions. And I would like to talk to the doctor and understand the situation a little bit more. So if I do happen to get a phone call, that's what's going on there. But I hope everyone's having a good day. This day has been racing by. There is a possibility tomorrow. I did want to give you a heads up. There is a possibility for tomorrow's live stream that I might be doing it around 11:30, like I had done last Friday. I have some things going on later in the evening tomorrow that kind of literally just came up. So I might have to switch the live stream around. So make sure that you really do click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. And by the way, if you do appreciate the content, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on, obviously, YouTube. You can even find me on Instagram and TradingView. It's one word. It's Crypto Bull God. If you need some workout motivation, I'm on Instagram. If you're all about the crypto, which you're here for, then it's best to follow me on YouTube and on Twitter. So with that being said, let's get into it. Full disclosure, didn't put any preparation ahead of the live stream into what charts I wanted to cover. So I think what we're going to do for today's live stream is I'm going to evaluate what I'm seeing on my watch list here. And I'm going to pull up some charts that I think would be of some interest. I also would invite you guys, starting right now, if you want to drop some projects, some tokens into the comments here in terms of what you'd like me to chart, I would be very happy to take a look at whatever you would like me to chart today. But there are a couple things that we can kind of talk about. One of the things, I have a smart following base here, and one of the things that one of you had pointed out, and speak up if it was you, if you're here during the live stream, you had pointed to this inverse head and shoulders, and I was kind of staring at it and said, yeah, you know, you can see a shoulder, you can see a head, you can see a shoulder. So yeah, technically there is a head and shoulders, although I don't think it's going to play out. And then I sort of tried to roughly draw the technical target, and from the top of the head all the way to the base of the shoulder, and said if we start to break down, you know, that could take us down to like the $23,000 area, just, you know, roughly drawing it out. So that head and shoulders is still in play. Interestingly enough, I've seen a few more, haven't really been active on Twitter today, but have seen a few more people kind of point to this head and shoulders. So I do want to reiterate what I reiterated a couple live streams ago when that was pointed out. This pattern is a valid pattern. There's a probability for it playing out. I just don't think it's going to play out, but it is something to keep an eye on. If this pattern does play out, it takes us down to the low $23,000 area. At least on the daily, that would take us down to near the 200 simple moving average. Again, I would view that as an advantageous opportunity to load up on more altcoins as well as Bitcoin, but I don't think we're going to get that drop. I've said I think the spike down here to 25,800 was it. And I think we're going to continue moving higher. Of course, the first thing we should look for as we begin to move higher here is we're going to want to come up. We're going to want to come up, and we're going to want to challenge this descending area of resistance here. Okay, and then it's all about breaking 31,000. Okay, as soon as we start breaking $31,000 with volume, that's what you're really should get a little bit excited, because now we're in this. If we could flip to a weekly here, we're going to be in this red zone of resistance, and we're going to be challenging this $32,000 area, right? It's really 28.8 to 31.8, but let's round it and keep it simple. 29 to 32,000 is where you're going to find your main areas of resistance here. Is this red zone of resistance. It's all about breaking above here, okay? And once we break above 32, there really isn't any resistance, okay? I want you to keep in mind what I'm saying here on the weekly. Once we actually do start to see candle bodies break above 32,000, there's not a whole lot of price confluence all the way up until 35.5. So it's quite possible. It's quite possible. There's a good probability that once you start to see a candle body close up in this area and we got volume, we're shooting right up to 35.5. Again, I have reiterated, and I will continue to reiterate on this channel, that when this market moves, it moves, okay? When we were undergoing the correction that we were undergoing back here, you know, I was trying to keep everybody in the game and keep their mental sanity, because when you go through a correction like this, when you go through a massive correction like this, you oftentimes forget about this. I mean, look at how steep this was and how monumental this was on the chart. Okay, so we need to keep perspective. We need to stay grounded. We're not shooting up to $60,000 next month. But once we start moving, once we do start to move, we're going to start to move. Again, I pointed this out on the chart yesterday on the Williams alligator. We're riding this green line. If we really are at a similar point in time as we were in September, late September of 2020, which I believe we are, it's quite possible we could ride this line for a week or two, a couple weeks, until we start to really explode up in value. So something to keep an eye on. Let's see what other charts we want to kind of take a look at here. Don't need to take a look at that. Shouldn't look at that. That's some proprietary information. DYP we looked at yesterday. A0 we looked at yesterday. What questions do you guys have? Now, I had just tweeted out today. That I nibbled on a little bit more Decentraland mana. I'm staring at this thing at 47 cents. Of course, we have to turn this into a red line of resistance. You know what? It just seems like a very good level to buy based on sort of where we're sitting right now and the things that I've pointed out on this chart, where we historically were up at $6. We're sitting at 47 cents. We had a monumental rise in price, and now we're sort of just it's declining in value. But what this really is consolidation. You can see the volume just ticking down. Interestingly enough, one of the things I have a very smart following basis. I think I had pointed this out before, but one of the things I want to take a look at is I want to take a look at dilution within the market. I kind of hit on this before. I need to get back to it, but I started creating a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that many months ago that started looking at increases in circulating supply. And we can have a conversation in terms of how that might impact prices moving forward. Someone brought that up with H-bar. I had given some H-bar targets back in 2021, early 21, and they said, well, what about the increase in circulating supply? Aren't you concerned about that? And I poo-pooed it. I didn't look into it as much as I should have, because if you actually look at the increase in circulating supply in H-bar, you might be a little surprised about how much the circulating supply has increased, and that can have an impact on the level of price appreciation that you would suspect. Mana's increase in circulating supply is the increase is much less than something like an H-bar. Okay, so it's something we'll have to take a look at and just have an honest conversation. It doesn't mean that I love H-bar any less. I still very much believe in the holy crypto trinity, H-bar, 1, and Mana. But it is something that we'll have to take a look at. Let's see, we got Mana, we got GRT. Something also I had tweeted out today, okay? Another chart that is looking sexy AF at the moment. This is ticker symbol MASK, mask, okay? After we saw this plummet in value, you can see we saw a sharp increase in price from $1 all the way up to $6. And since then, we've been in this uptrend, right? You could say this is an ascending triangle, okay? We have a flat base, and we have increasing price, higher lows, right? We're sort of increasing it here. Has the potential to result in a massive explosion up. Of course, this one has a narrative surrounding it with Web3. But I would keep an eye on Mask Network in terms of where I would be a buyer. Anything around this 350 level, we're sitting at 395 right now. If this thing pulled back another 10%, roughly 10, 11, 12%, great area to buy in my opinion. Never financial advice, even at the levels we're at right now. But I might wait for a little pullback. Might wait for a little pullback here. You can draw this upward trend line a few different ways. So yeah, we could see a pullback. This candlestick went down to 349. So something closer to the 350, 360 area. You might want to be a little patient and wait for maybe a 10% pullback here. Of course, there's no reason the inclining line of support here can't be broken, right? There's no reason that we couldn't dip down to 323 at another area of support, or all the way down at 265 at another area of support. So something to keep an eye on. ACH, I had... what did I tweet this out today? I forget if it was today or yesterday, but no, it was today. I feel like I finally come to a decision in terms of what I'm going to be using my bonus for in terms of what projects I'm going to be scaling into. And in order, I had indicated it's going to be ACH, followed by Casper, followed by A0. ACH, though, I'm not going to be looking to buy at the price levels we're at right now. We're sitting at 2.7 cents. I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback here. This thing can run up to 3 cents, 3.2, 3.4 cents. I'm going to be patient and wait for this thing to come back to me. We're having a nice rise in price today at 11%. Synapse was something I was looking at earlier today. Not looking at this. Synapse was something I was looking at earlier today because one of the things I've noticed, okay, this thing has been on a downtrend now for a little while. Since it peaked over here in February at $1.70. It looks like, was it $1.70? $1.80, okay? One of the things you want to, and I've spoken to this before, one of the things that can be a leading indicator to tell you if you could anticipate some sort of trend direction, okay, trend reversal to the upside is go to the lower time frames. Go to the lower time frames and look for some bullish divergence. On the RSI, I'm not going to flip through all the hourly charts here, but the multiple hourly charts are showing bullish divergence. This is the 8-hour. So roughly what I'm looking at here is you can see the RSI is in. You see how the RSI is increasing in value, and yet the price, if we go back to this point in time, is decreasing in value. See how it's decreasing in value, but the RSI is increasing? That's leading me to conclude that it's not certain, but there's some degree of probability here that there could be, at least in the short term, a nice bounce. Could it be just a nice little relief bounce? Could we, if you're a trader and you want to use this to your benefit, go for it. Could we bounce up to 70 cents, get a nice little 15% pump, or 77 before we drop back down, consolidate, and continue moving higher? Sure. Could it be some sort of dead cat bounce where we jump up to 70 and fall back down to 54? Absolutely. But whether it's a longer-term trend reversal or something in the short term, Synapse is showing some signs here on some of these lower time frames. We really could see a nice, strong bounce here. If you study this chart and you go back in time, this historically has had, its market cap is in the 200s. It's a lower market cap, so it doesn't take as much liquidity to move the price. This thing has had really nice bounces in the past, so something that I would keep on your radar. Now, let's go through. I don't see any charts here anyone would like me to take a look at. Let's kind of go through the watch list and talk about anything that would be important here. If you guys have charts that would be interesting for me to take a look at, I'm all for it. But obviously, if you have a question on something that hasn't, materially changed like Digibyte's a great example. Nothing exciting is going on with Digibyte at the moment. It's just chopping around. There's really no material update I can provide on Digibyte. Or any chart we've recently looked at. We'll stay away from those, but things that are really interesting to take a look at, things that are kind of sticking out. Another one that would be interesting to look at that I have not looked at in a while. Let's look at the Sandbox. Another metaverse play here. I actually contemplated the money that I put in Decentraland. Man, I had contemplated putting in the Sandbox, and I ultimately put it in Mana. This is on a weekly, so price indicators look relatively neutral, oversold. This orange area I had identified was really a massive buy zone to me, and you can see we're even below that. And that's the thing about charting. You can identify all the areas of price confluence that you want. You can see this didn't pan out. You can identify all the areas of price confluence that you want, but it's all about probabilities, right? So the orange zone, 54 to 63 cents, in my view, and still is a tremendous buying opportunity. We've actually gone below that. But the important thing to keep in mind here, as I auto-scale this, we still have, don't lose the perspective, we still have a low, a high, and a higher low. So even though we've gone lower than I thought, than this zone, we still haven't negated the higher highs and higher lows. We're just waiting for that next leg up. Okay, and in terms of next legs up, we're going to face resistance on sand between 54 and 63. And then it looks like there's of course, there's an area of resistance right here I should also point out on sand. Right around 71 cents, call it 70 cents, 91 cents, and then $1.46. Big gap here between 90 cents and $1.46. There's other areas of price confluence at $1, $1.14, but charts looking still healthy and advantageous at the moment. So something to keep an eye on. Let's see what else we got here. C98. What's up, Kevin? I have no clue what you're talking about. C98. Let's see. Anything else that is... You know what chart we haven't taken a look at in a long time? Just kind of popped up, and I haven't looked at this one in a little bit. Let's take a look at Quant. We haven't looked at this one in a while. I apologize. I ordered some allergy medication. Man, it's been phenoms my nose lately. It's been so damn stuffy. Okay, so now one of the things that any chartist can appreciate, and I want to explain this well, is when you're at this point in time, so let's just forget that all that other price data exists, okay? When you're at this point in time, okay, it's appropriate to draw this upward sloping line. This is all the price data you have to make an informed decision of what's going on. As the price data develops, you need to retool your price pattern that you have here, right? So now what we really have is we have a base. We're going to draw the base roughly like this. Couple ways you can view this, okay? I want to make sure that I explain this well, so let me know if you have any questions. One way to view this is it's a descending triangle, which is bearish. We have lower highs and a base here. Okay, this is a bearish pattern. Okay, bearish leads ultimately to, you know, a measured move breakdown from the top to bottom at the point of breakdown all the way down, right? So that's the bearish view. The bullish view, though, and the view that I definitely lean towards, is you have a break up in price. Okay, this is a pole and this is a pennant. Okay, so really, to me, this is a bull flag. Okay, we can even go on a higher time frame to see this better. Didn't know the coin C98 existed, Kevin, so thank you for the question. I had no idea what you were talking about. So right now, quant is just consolidating. Remember, I had hit on this before, and there's actually, if you go to my channel, you will see a quant video. Everyone, this front ran a lot of the market. We ran from down here at $40 all the way up to 200 and, you know, roughly 440, close to 240. Okay, so we pulled like a 6x, and everyone at that point, it was ridiculous. You would go on Twitter and you would say you would see people tweeting that quant would never see a massive correction again, that we were on our way to $1,000. Quant's going to the top 10. It's going to be a top 5 project. And when you start, let me just say, when you start to read that sort of stuff, probably a good indication that there's way too much FOMO in the market. I don't even need to see a chart. Probably due for a correction at some point soon, okay? More than likely. Not certain, but more than likely. Now, look what we've done ever since. We've consolidated. This consolidation, by the way, is very healthy. There's nothing wrong with this chart, okay? My educated guess is that quant, again, it front ran here. It's going to front run a lot of other coins and start making another massive leg. People are going to be calling for $5,000, and then at some point it's going to have another correction and then continue running, okay? You just have to remain patient with this. Chart looks very, very healthy. To me, it's all about breaking the downward resistance and then starting to break above some key levels. It looks like around 155. We're just going to call it 200 and up here towards about 230, okay? Yeah, this area here looks like a key area, around 210, okay? So chart looks healthy. Nothing crazy going on. I'll have to revisit my target. It looks like I have an orange box up here between $700 and $1,100. I'll have to revisit that target. Maybe I can put out an updated video on how I came up with that. Probably a trend-based fib extension. But yeah, it'd be interesting to take a look at what's the sort of price extensions we could expect for quant. Let's get into a charting question from a fellow crypto brother, Kevin. Let's get to a blank chart. Okay, let's see here. Yes, I was evaluating this chart earlier this morning as I was sipping on my coffee and listening to some monetary policy talk. What am I doing? My mind is all over the place today. Man, hope that allergy medication gets here. C98. I've never heard of this one before. Oof. Looks like a sharp stair step down. Is this a low market cap? I'm going to guess it is because I've never heard of it before. 260. That's not that low. 263. What markets is this on? You know, if you go to CoinMarketCap, they actually revamped their site, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not digging how it feels. It's on it's on Coinbase. Okay, it's on Binance. Is it on Binance US? Well, regardless, I don't want to waste time on that. Let's take a look at the chart. I appreciate you asking the question, Kevin. I always appreciate your engagement. First thing is first. This is a clear. Okay, this is one of the most obvious things I always like to point out. You can see the clear downward resistance. We haven't broken out above it. Okay, couple ways to view that. One, it's expressing weakness in the chart. However, if you have conviction behind the project, as well as finding some other things in the technicals here, this might be a prime opportunity to get into this thing. So let's take a look at this. Now, it looks like I have this on a 2-week. which, to be honest with you, I kind of like that view because it really helps to consolidate the price action here. Let's keep it on 2 weeks. And let's kind of take a look at high level what's going on here. Although I really want to take a look at the 3-day as well. Okay. Apologies for the sniffles. All right, 2 week. Let's not even pay attention to the price indicators because they're meaningless on a 2 week, not enough price data. You can see we had this sharp incline in price from about 8 cents all the way up to $6. And we've had this steep decline in price, right? So a couple things to establish in this chart. The first thing we want to ask ourselves are where are some reasonable areas for support on this chart? Again, this is a higher time frame. Could we go down to a daily chart? Yes. Are we going to? No. We're going to keep this higher level. Let me see. We opened at, we're just going to call it 16 cents. Green is for support. Red is for resistance. So we're going to call this at 16 cents. Round the figure and make it look really nice. And then let's get a range here. It looks like the low here was at 15.2. So there is this base here. I really want to see this hold. I don't want to see 15.2 taken out. If we start to take out 15.2 cents, simplistically put, what that would mean is we're creating new lows relative to our all-time low. We want this all-time low that we established in December of 2022 to hold, okay? That expresses a degree of strength within the chart because what we are doing now, even though we have this downward area of resistance, so long as 15.2 cents holds, ultimately what we are doing, no matter how this feels emotionally, is we have a low, we have a high, and now we have some form of a higher low here. We have the narrative, okay, the building blocks for this bullish narrative that I always say. These are the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative. Now we're getting ready for another higher high, right? So we have 2 higher highs and 2 higher lows. So I don't care where this low comes in ultimately at, so long as we stay above 15.2 cents, okay? That's what I would be concerned with. Now, where are we going to run into problem spots? First area I would actually identify, trying to keep this a little simple. It's like a double wick, like right there. We're just going to round this. We're going to say 30. We're just going to call it 31 cents. Okay, keep it very simple. So I think 31 cents is going to be a problem spot, as well as, I mean, the nice thing about this, when you can see it with me, I'm sure. When you come onto a, kind of like putting it right there, is more price confluence. What is that? 36.6. All right, we'll keep 36.6. You can see that when you go to these higher time frames, what happens is you have fewer candlesticks on the chart. It consolidates price action. It makes it a lot easier to interpret what is going on in the chart rather than going into your 12-hour chart, okay? My view is, unless if you're more of a sophisticated technical analyst, you should really keep things at a higher time frame. Okay, keep things at a 3-day chart or a weekly chart, 2-week, monthly chart. Once you become a little bit more proficient at reading charts, okay, now get into your daily and your 12-hour and your 4-hour and your 6-hour, your hour, your 30-minute, you know. But really, you want to keep it high level. It's only going to serve to benefit you because it removes a lot of noise. It removes a lot of volatility. You can really focus on a clean-looking chart. So it looks like really we have, let me create one more area of resistance here. Yep, this one's going to be important. Right around there, 46.8. 15.2 cents, let's hold. We're going to come up here at some point. We're going to battle this descending resistance. Now, you know what I always say about descending resistance, right? It's resistance until we break it. Once we break it, no matter how high we travel up, 31, 36.6, 46.8, we quite often like to come back and back test here. Okay, so don't be surprised if we get a breakout, something like this. This is a 2-week chart. This is on the 22nd. Don't be surprised if by this candle here, we come up, we come as high as here, maybe up into here, and this next week we come all the way back down here and back test until we go up. Don't be surprised by that. Or within the same 2-week candlestick that prints here, we end up back testing here at some point. Okay, very, very common. So your 31, 36.6, and 46.8 cent area are going to be your main areas of resistance here. That's what I would watch for. Good question, Kevin. I appreciate it. Let's see what other charts we have going on here that I can point out. Anything exciting? The dollar's at 102. The S&P's just hovering around 4,100. It's just nothing exciting. You know, call a spade a spade. If there's nothing exciting going on in the market, I'll update you guys where it makes sense. But if there's nothing material, I'm not going to create a story where there is none. Got to update Gala. I guess they must have had their airdrop, and now it's TradingView's given an issue on the reading of the token. Now let's see, Raven coin. Ooh, ZRX, man. I haven't taken a look at that chart in a very long time. That thing looks 22 cents. I was surprised. I was looking at Tezos the other day. Maybe we can take a look at it. I didn't chart it. I just saw it was at 89 cents. Dear Lord. Yeah, wow, this is really interesting. This did not pan out originally how I thought it was going to, because I know at some point I had it drawn like this. And that fell apart. Yeah. You can see, I mean, this was setting up beautiful for a cup and handle, but you can see the cup and the handle. Now, I don't honestly know the rules on the cup and handle, how far the handle can extend down until at which point a cup and handle pattern has been invalidated. I would think if the handle reaches the base of the cup, which it basically has, it would be invalidated, but I don't know that for sure. I can't tell you that. In any event, ZRX is, you look at the price actually, 22.8 cents. It's relative to other projects. Our high was at 250, 260. So it's about 10% of the all-time high. So nothing alarming going on there. Yeah, we're just consolidating. Let's see if we can see anything on like a 3-day chart. Any bullish divergence or anything? Nah. Nah. Yeah, I don't really see anything. Starting to get a cross down on the MACD. We don't want to see that. RSI. Yeah, we're just consolidating. I mean, really, if you hold this token, ZRX, this is on a weekly. This is pretty clean, actually. And I know at one point I had this drawn differently because I really thought this was, not that I thought, it was a valid falling wedge. But since then, it has not resulted in it being a falling wedge as the price has developed. Really what you want to look for, it looks like we're trying to create a base right along here at about 21 cents. Let's break this downward resistance convincingly, and let's start to take out this lower high and this lower high and this lower high. So for us to start to get excited on this project, you got to see ZRX starting to break $1.10, even around 80 cents, somewhere around 80 cents, $1, $1.10. That's when you can start to get a little bit more excited, but we're just consolidating with the rest of the market. Anything else? Any other projects that anyone would like me to take a look at? I will look at anything and everything. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. Let's really quick, guys. Oh, excuse me. Let's really quick. Let's take a look at Tezos, because I was sort of surprised when I saw it. Oof, holy shit. Haven't looked at this chart in a while. Wow, this thing has like fallen apart in many ways. Okay, let's get off the price indicators. You can see I haven't looked at this thing in a long time. Tezos to you, Bezos, to quote another prominent YouTuber who I follow on Twitter. He's a good guy. I have respect for him. He's a nice guy. What do I want to point out on Tezos? Is there anyone, drop me a comment, is there anyone here who owns Tezos? Wow, yeah, look at this. The lows that we reached here, back here, when we reached our cyclical low, more than likely here, back in late 2022, look at where we were at. Look at this. Wow. This low reached here was basically the level we reached here back in 2019. Crazy stuff. Yeah, Tezos, for me to really start getting excited about Tezos, first off, you better respect 70 cents. I don't want to drop below 70 cents. You can see we have a declining area of resistance here. Okay, I would draw it actually like that. Let's start to break out above here. Really not starting to get excited on Tezos until we start breaking. I would draw that right there. I must have had this on a different time frame. Around $1.07. You want to see Tezos start pushing up towards $2. Until Tezos really starts pushing up towards $2, I'm not real excited. Okay, I want to see some momentum pick up. I want to start getting up into this price area right up in here. Okay, then as hard as it is to believe, once you start pushing up on Tezos north of $2 up here, you're closer to all-time highs than you would think. This market, again, moves quick when it does decide it wants to turn. But right now, very uninteresting and boring with the rest of the market. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to chart, it does provide a lot of great opportunities to scale into projects like this that you may view as suppressed in value. What other questions? Let's get to Kevin. I see you have another one, but since I already charted one, let's take a look at Miroslav's question here. HLM. I don't think I have a chart for that one. Oh, I apologize for the yawn. Man, I need to get some sleep tonight. I got to wake up early tomorrow. Oh, God. Whew. Not a lot of price data on this. What is the market cap ranking on this guy? Helium. Oh, I know Helium. Okay. This is, yeah, I've definitely heard of this project. So this is, maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm confusing it with a different product. 4,734. Yeah, I definitely have not heard of this project. I'm confusing it with something else. Yeah, this is a pretty uninteresting chart. I'm going to be honest with you. So, I mean, we can take a look at it. I don't know how much value I can really add here. This thing has such... So, Miroslav, let me keep things very real with you like I always do on this channel. This thing has no volume. This is one of the most uninteresting, and this is not a slight against you. I appreciate the question, but this is one of the worst looking charts I have ever seen that I've charted on this channel. There's no liquidity in this thing, no volume. I don't really think there's a lot of value in charting this, to be honest with you. This is a little difficult to chart. I mean, look at this. This tells you everything that you need to know. This bullshit right here tells you, this looks like a penny stock. You know, I used to buy and sell stocks before I got into crypto, and stocks became so uninteresting. What was that? So uninteresting to me once I got into crypto, and not getting a call from the doctor. They became so uninteresting to me once I got into crypto, but this is what like a penny stock looks like. I can't add any value to this. This thing is, you know what? You know what you want to look for if you really want me to give you something on this? Get above this area. So what you can start to get excited once you clear with volume, 16.4 cents. When you start to clear 16.4 cents, you're going to have a good time. But until then, this looks like a pile of garbage right here. ENS. Let's take a look at ENS. Not familiar with this. Ethereum name service. I have no fucking clue what that is. You're welcome, Miroslav. Yes. I honestly, you know, I never give financial... I don't even know what this is. I feel like I should know this project because it has the name Ethereum in it and it's ranked 107, but I have no fucking clue what this is. Yeah, never financial advice on this channel, but I personally would not recommend getting into something that looks like that on a chart. It looks like a pile of garbage. Let's see what we're seeing on ENS, Ethereum name service. I'll interact with you. There, I gave you a like. I'm going to start interacting with people. How can I interact with people? Okay. This one's chipping and chopping around. Not crazy about the formation here. I will say that. I don't like the market structure on this one. But let's have a conversation regarding what we're seeing here. First off, we have some descending resistance. Is this on the screen or is that? Okay. We have some descending resistance here. You can draw it a couple different ways, but let's just keep it there. Now, where do we want to watch to see areas of support that should hold, that we'd like to see hold? I'd say right around, can I draw it there? Nah. Ultimately, you know, what I would look for is right there. Kevin, you want to see this wick here? Let's not take this out. This is 9.84. We're at 10.59. If we start to break below there, now there's a range, right? We hit our potential cycle low back here in June, okay, June of 22. You can see that's all the way down here at, we're just going to keep it simple, it's at 740, okay? So you got this range between 984 and 740. Is there anything in between we could chart? Yeah, I mean, there's some areas of price confluence, maybe around there at 890. So ultimately, to express the greatest degree of strength within the chart, I really would like to see this area between 980 and 890 hold. Okay, this area to hold. If we start to fall below 890, you run the risk of dropping all the way to 740 or lower. So let's try to hold that area. Okay. Now, the next obvious area, now that we've established where we want support to hold, the next obvious area of resistance is going to be the descending area of resistance, right? But what beyond the descending resistance can we speak to? Okay. I'm not crazy about this chart. I'm not. You can tell when I start to chart something I haven't looked at right away, the charts I like and the charts I don't like. This is not a chart that I'm digging right now. Yeah, not a fan of this chart whatsoever. Looks like around $17.40. Of course, there is a wick right here, so you know I draw the range, and it looks like it coincides with the wick over here, around 18.20. So, Kevin, what you're going to want to watch for is, as long as this base is maintained, okay, that's the first thing you want to watch for, okay? The next thing you're going to want to watch for, sorry, I'm jumping around here. The next thing you're going to want to watch for is as price begins to shoot up here, break the descending resistance, come into backtest, and then we want to watch for this 1820 to 1740 level hold. Now, once we start breaking above there, you can see since we bounced in June, we still technically, this is our highest high, right? So really what we want to start to do, and I would actually draw it up here. We didn't get up to that level, but I want to watch for 21 bucks. Say 21. I really want to watch for $21 to begin to break. Once $21 begins to break, you can return back to the channel to ask a question on this one and we can reevaluate. But until we start really breaking out above 21 bucks, I'm not interested in having a conversation about this chart. I want to see it break 21. Once we start to break 21, things could start to get a little exciting, okay? Because there's a lot of room to potentially run here. I mean, I can see a gap between 27 all the way up to 38. And then from 38 all the way up to 56. So we'll just, something to keep an eye on, but until we break 21, I'm not really super interested in the chart. All right, everyone, I think that's going to do it. Perhaps we will have a more exciting day tomorrow, a more exciting day that to get into some of the charts and bigger movers. Not a lot of excitement today, honestly, guys. Biggest mover on my watch list that I had, ACH. You know, ACH is having a really nice day. It's up 11.5%, having a great day. So hopefully that price pulls back, as I'm suspecting it will, in the low twos. Hell, maybe I can get in the upper ones. Yeah, not a lot of excitement today. So I'm hoping there's a little bit more something material to talk about tomorrow. Again, don't get weeded out by the complacency. You have to be patient. The market looks very healthy. Nothing has thus far invalidated my thesis that we're not going to be seeing all-time highs by the end of this year in Bitcoin. So just remain patient. I will be back here tomorrow. Again, make sure you click the bell icon for notifications. It's very possible I will be going live tomorrow around 11:30, so make sure to look out for that. But thank you for everyone who tuned in, everyone new, everyone who continues to support the channel. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Make sure to spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.